Dave, Insecure is back. Actually, HBO just like fully back from COVID at this point. We have Succession, we have
Hmm.
Insecure, we have Curb Your Enthusiasm. I watched the Curb Your Enthusiasm premiere. Just want to say real quick, Larry David still hilarious, still ridiculous. The show is always great. So if you enjoy that stuff, watch it. Another show that's always great though is Insecure. Issa Rae entering its final season, fifth and final. Um, Left off at the end of last season with Issa and Molly not in a good place. Issa and Lawrence in a unsure place when Lawrence finds out that his ex girlfriend is pregnant with his child.
Condola
I don't know.
virus. It's gonna get you.
So just I guess before we hop into the premiere episode, where were you at with Insecure, knowing that this was the last season? And just overall, we're gonna get one more season. And that's it.
Yeah, I guess for me, probably 2 seasons ago, my expectations for the show changed. So now I just happy to be with these characters I've been with a long time. The ensemble has great chemistry. These actors know their roles well at this point.
Yeah.
And you have dedicated writing team, a lot of veterans behind the camera. Melina Matsoukas, who did the pilot of the show, came back. She's come back many times. She came back again, directed this first episode of season 5. There's a lot of care put into Insecure. So I'm just happy to, see this show about Black women, about LA. It does all these things well, like it's been doing for a while. In terms of like creatively, like once we realized that Jay Ellis's Lawrence was going to be a fixture on the show for the remainder of the show, I feel like narratively, I was like not as invested in where it
Mm.
was going because it just feels like there's such a pull with Issa that I just wish wasn't happening creatively. But yeah, I just want to see what happens with Molly and Issa. I hope it's a nice end note here. I hope it's a secure ending.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably the thing that stood out most to me about the show, and not like this is like a novel observation, but just how the show in the early seasons I think felt a lot like um, it centered around friendship, centered around exploring Black experience, Black female experience specifically, but also venturing into Black male experience at times as well. Um, but really, the show has more and more become about the relationship between Issa and Molly rather than like their external relationships, which I feel was more of a fixture in the early seasons. And I appreciate that, because I think one of the things that is not portrayed on television nearly enough is just Black friendships, and that's what makes this show great is exploring the Black experience, and that continues, I think, in season 5, at least in the premiere, what we see, and obviously, like I said, Issa and Molly not in a good place at the beginning. They're brought back together, of course, with a 10-year reunion for their college, which is all too real because I believe mine is 2 years away, which is really weird to say. But this episode was stood out to me most, I think, was how much like Atlanta it felt at times. Specifically the stuff with their friend who
Oh,
robs
yeah,
them, and
right.
like her whole vibe, and also like the whole robbing scene when he's like he's like, well, you said she was just gonna do whatever, Chai. Like, you gotta shut up, Chai. And they're like, Chai, like, her. And then the way that she responded, like, anyone can get it. Like, that was very like some an episode of Atlanta to me. But yeah, I really like this premiere. I thought it balanced some like fun moments, like the stuff with Kelly. I thought was really really funny, but also some sweet moments and also some really sad moments. It just kind of shows like how high this show is operating at, just how excellent it is at this point. So was really impressed. What did you think of the premiere?
Yeah, I liked it. I think the robbing scene kind of came as a surprise to me as well,
Yeah,
and felt like a organic and still unexpected way to begin to mend the bridge between Molly and Issa. I
yeah,
like that. Interested to see what happens with Kelly. Tasha Rothwell wasn't really in much of season 4. Obviously, she's a significant creative force behind the scenes for the show now, but interested to see where they take her. or they take everyone else besides Issa and Molly, who have now been on the show a long time and have been built up to a certain extent as well. So that'll be cool. From what I understand, there is a 1 year time jump starting in episode 2.
Hmm.
That's definitely new for the show to really advance everyone and then pick it back up. Also, we know that Kiki Palmer will be joining the show as Lawrence's sister. It seems like a lot of the Lawrence stuff will be happening again, independent of everyone, as he's having this kid with Condola. So, um, interested to see where it goes. It's not like I'm trying to predict anything. Just looking forward to seeing what happens, being on the ride. And it's still gonna look good. It's gonna have good music. We had Kamaya and Too Short, among others, come up in the first episode here. So yeah, Insecure. It's ending, but it's also part of a banner Sunday night for a while now through the end of the year with Succession.
Yeah, and you just see episodes like this where you have these funny moments stitched in with like the sweet moments with um Kelly, and her them like really talk about how wonderful a friend she is to them, how important she is to them, and then cutting right then to next to the scene with Lawrence and Issa, and just how like sad and like heartbreaking that was. And you can really, I think, see why Issa Rae as a creator is just so sought after right now. She really is just able to tell stories on so many different levels and intertwine all these moments so seamlessly. It's just really impressive. And like you said, she curates everything, from the music to what the story and to what they're wearing. And she's just really a, a high level creator at this point. So really good stuff. Any last thoughts before we move on to the movies of this week, Dave?
Insecure is good, but it's probably a nice place to end too. 5 seasons. That's a great run for a show these days.